G'day, guys, and all you girls out there also, for those who can't read Braille. This is Sony Computer Entertainment Presents something by Japan Studio. Isn't that a restaurant? Shit. From software to the PlayStation. This is Bloodborne, and this is our impressions video brought to you by the one and only Redman himself and his good friend Neekos. And before I introduce Neekos, I must say that he is our resident driving simulator genre professional. So, welcome, Nick.
How you going, mate?
Good, thanks.
Should I ask?
You should.
Oh, okay. Why am I the driving simulator guy?
I don't know, because you seem to do very well at this game.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Because for those in the know, this game drives you mad.
That's not that bad, man.
No,
Play
not
Dark
at all.
Souls. Come on.
There it is. Ding! Reference 1.
Yep. I wasn't going to wait too long to break that cherry.
So first and foremost, we have you to thank for this visual pleasure that's been bestowed upon us here in the feed, in the blog, anywhere you may be viewing this. So thank you once again.
Yeah, no worries, man. Just tried to put together a few clips of a few different things we can show off to people who might not have seen or played the game. And, yeah, just little snippets to check it out and get a bit of an idea on what's going on.
So we'll touch on here, you're in the Cathedral Ward here, correct?
Yeah, mate, going after this dirty little imp.
The old treasure goblin.
Yep, the crystal lizard from Dark Souls. Ding! I hate them. I've got all of them now so far. Took me about 5 goes to get that one without dying or having to run away, but I got him.
This gives us a perfect opportunity also to show the sheer scope of the enemies. Obviously, I thought, personally, they'd hit a whole lot harder. You see there, it's probably taking about 60% of your life.
Oh, yeah, man. They smash you.
Yeah, and I'd assume here you've got approximately 20 or between 17 and 20 points spent on Vitality, correct?
Yeah, that'd be about correct, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Under 20 at least, yeah.
Did you stuff up there and just bloody get some Quicksilver bullets instead of changing?
Yeah.
Oh,
move along,
yeah.
Quick.
Scroll down past and you go, oh no, that's the one I want. You hit up and then you pull some bullets out of your ass.
Yeah, this is back when I first started, and yeah, I did it all the time. I'm like, I said to my housemate who was playing too, I'm like, don't do this around these people because I think there's some sort of curse where you try and heal and you lose life. He's like, really? I'm like, I don't know, man. 5 minutes later, I'm pushing the wrong button. Shit.
But as we can see here, it does seem very daunting, but the dodge button is quite fluent. You know, it's very, well, it's a necessity, if you will, but it's very effective. Because, like, this guy's swinging around a boulder that's bigger than you.
Yeah, man. If you've played any of the previous games from software, you realise that dodging's a big part of it. And I've experienced a fair few players recently that are new to it, and they don't quite grasp that this game is very based on get the fuck out of the way. Otherwise, you're going to die.
Very, very mathematical. If you swing and move.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And just you can, like, as you said, a lot of new players, and given the new generation of gaming and everything like this, there will be a lot of virgin from software gamers out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Against something just like this here, you can get very daunting, and the knee starts going, and the lips start trembling, and you start pulsating in the chest. But as you're exhibiting here, it's very maintainable, very manageable.
Yeah, I've never been the most panicky sort of person, so I think it's good. I just sit there and breathe, be calm, work out what you're doing, and just dodge, and more dodge. Except for when things like this happen, you'll see here I whack on my little lantern and get a bit of light, which doesn't help at all because I walk forward and then, oh my god, there's dudes!
Am I right in assuming that this is a dungeon?
Yeah, these you can create by using chalices at the gravestones in the Hunter's Dream, and it's ritual blood. Yeah, I think it's ritual blood. You've got to use that as a consumable to actually make them, and once you're in, it's a multi-leveled sort of situation. You come here and first level there'll be, mobs and standard sort of guys. Come down the bottom here, there's a big fellow down here guarding a switch. Once I've tried to draw him away with a bit of blood, but he's not interested in that. He's not a bear, apparently. And, kill this big geezer and flick the switch. Opens up next level, basically. And it's just it's this standard sort of dungeon crawl situation. Go down each level, get to the end, fight the boss. The first few, I don't know, we haven't discovered exactly what the use is so far. The first few just seem to give you more chalices for more dungeons. There has been a set of armor retrieved from one, which it looks cool. It actually looks a little bit like Venom from the Marvel universe. It's black Spider-Man-y. It's like the ash of bones wrapped around your body or something. And that's been about it so far. Otherwise, it's pretty poor on the blood echoes that you get. As you can see, I'm up to like a sort of a mini boss, and I've got 3,000. So it's really not real rich on the blood echoes.
From what I have read also is you can get weapon variations in the dungeons.
Yeah.
It's the only place you'll be able to find an epic rune. And one other thing that's somewhat trophy based. But look, if nothing else, it adds longevity to the game.
Yeah, it gives you something else to do that you don't really... When I'm playing it, I don't feel like I have to struggle as much because it's not necessarily, story or game related. It's kind of like a separate entity, if you will. I can just go in and do a dungeon and not really, panic or have to worry about organising all my shit properly.
Yeah, and from the looks of things also, it seems that the dungeons are very individually specified with those glyph codes and everything.
Yeah, they are. They seem to be unique to your character. I don't know if they change much from character to character, but there's got to be something because they do. They have their own sort of serial number, if you will, and you can give your mates your number, and they can come and join you in your dungeon. I guess it's probably useful for like someone who might, because there's only a certain amount of gravestones in the Hunter's Dream, and you can actually refresh them. But if you've got them all used and you don't want to take one away, or you need help, you can invite friends in, or they can invite you to theirs, and you don't have to necessarily have the same dungeon available to go into theirs if there's say of a higher level, or they used a different chalice to get there.
Yeah.
So you can kind of play with it a bit and do a bit of exploring with mates and all that sort of stuff in dungeons that you may not have found doing it solo.
And they're random generated too, yes? So the likelihood of running into the same one is, highly unlikely, if you will.
They are. But I think it seems like they're randomly generated from a pretty standard database, if you will. Yeah. So it's like, imagine if you've got 5 parameters with 5 different choices in each. That's, 5 to the power of 5. So it's somewhere around, I don't know, what's that, 500 to 1,000 combinations or something of what you can have. But, you're going to run into the same sort of boss or mob or room or something on more than a few occasions. But I'm okay with that.
If nothing else, it adds some enemy variation. And while we're on that, did you find that the enemies evolved as you as you got through at a good pace, or did you find yourself having to take a step back and then having to work out how different bosses work and different enemies in general work?
Oh yeah, there's we won't actually. I don't think we won't see it in this clip, but there's another boss further down. It's a guard, massive guard dog, basically. Kind of, I don't want to do it, but kind of like Sif in Dark Souls. If you've ever fought Sif, the dog, just on fire, so adds another dimension to it there. But there's 2 versions of that so far that we've discovered, and they're actually different. One does have a different attack cycle and different attacks totally to the first one. So it's kind of like the same boss. It's just a guard dog for a different area that has different attacks and abilities. So that's kind of cool that they have done that.
Now we should clarify, how far in the game have you actually progressed personally?
What you're seeing now is my full stop, or my comma, if you will, in the story. So far, I've died here and given up until I feel happy and better.
Well, I have completed the game one way. And obviously for those veterans of the From Software games, you would understand that nothing is as open and shut as a game of Souls or as a game of Bloodborne, as we are now being shown. So I think it's stayed pretty true to form with the genre that was almost benchmarked with Demon Souls, then rather earmarked with Dark Souls 1 and continued with Dark Souls 2. So as a natural progression thing go, do you see that the controls and the audio and the visuals have all lived up to spec coming to a new generation?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Without a doubt. You're gonna get your purists that might, see that there's a small change here and there in something, or even a big change in something else, that are just gonna absolutely hate it. But probably still play it anyway. So I mean, I don't. Yeah, for me, it's a different game almost completely, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I keep referring to it as a new IP, and it really is. Like, well, where's your shield? Where's these slow, methodic boss battles or mob mashes up? When you lose life, you have that opportunity with the bloodletting to go get it back with a flurry of offense.
Yeah, that's right.
And as we're being treated here, every boss has their bloody wonderful 2 to 3 different enrage modes or phases, if you will, in the boss battle. And you've hit the most fun one here, because I found it a lot easier to try and get them all down closer to near the end.
Oh, man. Once the snakes popped up, I was done. I said, nah, I'm not. There's no way I'm going to be able to beat this boss. Even though, look, I've got one left with half life. I was just like, nah. Two blood vials left. It's going to be all over soon.
Have you enjoyed the co-op aspect of it? Because I must admit, I done this boss in co-op after failing.
Yeah, well, what you wouldn't have seen, this is quite a long boss fight for me. So I cut out at the beginning. I did have just a random come in and help at the beginning. And it's pretty cool. It can take a while to organise, but I mean, once you're in, you got 2 people there, you're running around. You get to get in some good sort of backstabs, and get the aggro off the main person and all that sort of stuff. And it's kind of a competition to stay alive and laugh at whoever dies first.
And fair to say, you've had some rage-filled moments.
Yes.
This should be one.
Like just then, you died. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, game. See ya. That's not been too bad. I'd put the control down and walk away and have to breathe heavy for 5 minutes, but then sort of come back and hit it head on again and tend to make a little bit more ground. And then you got stuff like what I'm about to do here, absolutely stupid, ridiculous things that should never occur. Like, oh, hey, look, I'm just going to swing for no particular reason. And then
speech bubble there going, where's my sandwich?
Yeah. Oh, a little nugget came out when I did that. Oh, my God, you can see me roll away in a massive panic.
Very well.
So what we have here is hopefully our initial installment into an impressions video on Bloodborne, and we might be able to revisit it again once you've tidied up the rest of the game.
Yeah. Well, I'll push through a bit more this afternoon, and hopefully get past a few more areas and get a bit closer to joining you boys on New Game Plus eventually, and reconvene at a later date with a better look at the whole game.
Well, that sounds fantastic, mate, and I'd love to thank you for joining me on this little expedition that is through the impressions of Bloodborne from Nick and Red.
No, thank you, mate. Thanks for coming on the journey.
No worries, and remember to insert that coin and hit the continue button. You've been listening to Red and Nick. Thanks very much, guys.
Cheers.
Back to you at the station.